Hi guys, it's me Sin here at the Epoxy Resin store, and today I'm going to show you guys how to work with the urethane coating. Now with the urethane coating, it is going to go directly onto our decals, which are going to go on the cup. This tumbler has lightning cure, and it also has a coat of Tumblers coating epoxy on this. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand the tumbler down. So actually I'm going to remove it off of this. We're going to sand our tumbler. Okay. And then we're just sanding it to, you know, if there's any, I call them pokies, but if any glitter's poking out, we're going to go ahead and sand that off. And then that way we have a good surface so that this can adhere very well. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this back onto the spinner, just like this. Remember, when you're adding your cup to the spinner, you want the insert to be at least 2 inches deep. We're gonna go ahead and add these decals. Actually, I'm gonna take my gloves off for the decals. So this was just a wrap, but we're gonna go ahead and separate that. So we're just cutting this. So just right here, you're gonna smooth that out directly onto your tumbler, then remove the backing. And then we're just gonna place these wherever. And again, guys, this already has a coat of lightning cure, and it has a coat of the Tumblers coating epoxy. And then we're going to again we're going to coat this with the urethane coating, and we're going to be using the urethane coating to seal the vinyl. So that's what the urethane coating is going to be used for. Okay, and then let's put a pod down here. Alright, so now that we have our decals on here, we're going to turn this on. And the spinner, remember guys, if you want it spinning one way, it can spin one way, and if you want it to spin the other way, all you have to do is turn it on and turn it off, and then turn it back on, and it'll spin the other way. I prefer to have my tumbler spinning clockwise when I'm working. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on. And we're going to be working with the urethane coating. So with the urethane coating, you do not need to mix. You just pour directly from the bottle. Now, one thing that I've learned when using the urethane coating is you want to pour it on thick. It is going to flatten out or shrink, whatever you call it. It is going to flatten out. If you apply the urethane coating too thin, what's going to happen is your finished look is going to come out very streaky. So again, that's why you want to put a nice thick coat, because anyway, it is going to shrink or flatten out, however you want to call it. All right, So I'm just gonna pour just directly, a nice thick layer. And I'm not really pressing down too hard on this. I'm pressing down so lightly. And you more wanna, instead of like pressing it as we would epoxy, we're just gonna guide this and glide it. So this needs more. Ooh, that's a little bit too much. Or maybe not. Good thing I poured that much. That's good. Oh, okay, perfect. So you see right now, there's really no streakiness on this. It's just a nice thick coat. And what this is doing is this is going to seal in our vinyl so that when we're ready to epoxy, our vinyl will not lift up. Or you can even use it as a final coat. Some people use it as a final coat. I sometimes use it as a final coat on some of my products, or as a coat before we completely seal the cup. So see, I don't know if you can tell, but there is a very thick layer. If there's a bubble, just go ahead and pop it with your finger. You do not need to torch it. So right now, there's a thick coat on here. I just kind of want to make sure this is covered as well. It's a nice thick coat. It is completely encasing everything. That's how it looks now, but once it dries, it is going to, how can I say, it's gonna flatten and it's gonna give this a very nice seal. Again, there's no need to torch this. There's no bubbles on here. Oh, there's this little area that needs urethane. I'm just tapping it. I'm not gonna smooth it out anymore. If you see a spot that needs a little bit more urethane on it, go ahead and just tap it. Just tap it and then it'll, level out. Okay, I think that's it, guys. That's how you work with the urethane coating.